Hey, what's up? Just coming with another video, and this one, I want to, I was talking in this series about how sometimes, like, when you're putting two and two together, it's actually the universe putting two and two together through you, because like you talk about like signs and like wonders and like premonitions and insights and like signs. I think a sign wouldn't necessarily be the universe sending you a sign. The universe is sending itself a sign through you, and you're recognizing the universe sending itself a sign. So sometimes you put two and two together. So I was at a gas station, and I noticed at that gas station they had exactly two of two different football teams that were available. So they had the state that I'm in, and then they also had the Cowboys. I'm not in Texas, but they had the Cowboys. When I was growing up in the Southwest, we were all Cowboys fans because we actually didn't have our own team in that state, and we were near the Cowboys, and the Cowboys were one of the really influential teams of the sports organizations of the 90s. I think, generally speaking, I could be corrected on that, but I think the Cowboys were. But then, but I put two and two. I was telling the person, I was like, oh, so I get it. So the one team is for when you're in friendly territory, you can rock that while you're in the state. Then you got the cowboy uniform, so that as soon as you go past the wire that is out into the broader the United States, you put on that cowboy outfit and you're good to go. That's your disguise. You're good to go. You can put it right on top of your state team, and nobody will be the wiser. And they were appreciating that. But also I learned something. One thing I learned about like style is that your style is more so hitting when it becomes congruent, like so there's like a story, or like things kind of they overlap and complement. So I've been becoming more familiar with, I've been enjoying wearing a cowboy hat. I participated in a men's style forum with a YouTuber named Casey Zander, and he talks about like dynamics of dating, and like very kind of like in mechanical technical terms, but a lot of the stuff he's saying, you really can't argue with it. But it's the kind of stuff where it's like you know what he's saying is true, but it's hard to implement it, because like part of us as like guys is like we just don't want to, we know kind of like what time it is, but we want to act like our own watch is like we have a hard time we have a hard time playing we have a hard time like getting past our own like pretensions of like so I don't want to do what's cool and what's smooth. I want to do what's me. And there's value to that, because I think you have to practice anything, so you have to practice being you to be good at it, or practice being cool. But a lot of us, like, we'll know like the things that he's talking about in there, but it's hard to actually like make it real for us. And then I came to appreciate it's because he had that cowboy hat on his head. He's actually training us to become cowboys. Who do you know is better around women than a cowboy? And I think the world over, like, a lot of people are like interested in America, like, and like they have like they're interested like in moving to America because of the things America has to offer. I think it's just because they want to get closer to like the cowboy culture. Because like I don't mean to be disrespectful with that, but I had a family friend that was like they came from the same part of Africa where my father's from, and but they were in Canada, and we visited him, and he would like work, like he was really good at what he did. He did maintenance for like high end like uh um uh um like luxury apartments, or like penthouses in Canada area, in one of your big cities in Canada. But he would go home and watch like John Wayne films all the time. And all I meant to say is like that spirit of like the cowboy, like that appreciation of independence, and like freedom, for lack of a better word, the freedom. I think the freedom that the United States represents in terms of economic opportunity, educational opportunity, civil opportunity, just to live a decent life and raise a family, is represented, and it's not different from what we had as like the cowboy, I think. And I think that a lot of people, like from all walks of life, even people from countries in our own country that have came up against some of the interests that a cowboy might serve, because maybe some of your cowboys, as cool as they were, they might have actually served like barons and like landowners and like governors and like statesmen and whatnot, that might have had economic interests that weren't in the best of all people. But I think most people can appreciate a cowboy as like freedom par excellence. And I think that So I'm gonna go with that a little bit more, but I want to say that we all appreciate, what we enjoy about America, and maybe what our families have come here about America, is to be closer and more of cowboys. So I appreciate that stuff that Casey Zander talks about. It's making you more like a cowboy, but it's not gonna work until you put on the cowboy hat. So I just, and like a lot of people, like they try to like talk about like becoming better than the one that taught you, or better than the master. And he's something of a, I don't mean to just be fawning, but he's like something a little bit of like a savant, I think, because he's like significantly younger than I am, but he has really keen insight about like dating dynamics. So I would appreciate him as like something of a savant. But it takes the cowboy hat to, and you're not becoming better than the one that taught you. You're becoming the one that taught you. If you're getting, so I've been putting the cowboy hat on and getting way colder experiences, but also then you start combining that with like an actual Dallas Cowboys jacket, and now that's complementing, that's complementing and gelling with the cowboy hat, and so you improve like that. But it's just putting two together. And another one is that I was doing this video, I pulled over to do this video in an area that I'm not normally in, and I had to use the bathroom making the first couple of videos, but I'm kind of away from like businesses, and a lot of times a lot of businesses, like especially like a professional business, they're not trying to let you use the bathroom unless you're having business there. So I go to this random business suite, business park, a little bit earlier than regular business hours, and the door's wide open, and it's like restroom right here. And it's like you actually didn't have to get past anyone to use the restroom. You just have a perfectly hidden, available restroom in the middle of an area that doesn't have businesses where you need to use restrooms, and you don't even have to explain yourself or like argue with no one, or you just go simply use the bathroom. Here you go, right away. And you would appreciate it didn't cost nothing. But then I look at the building, and it's actually like a donate. It's like for donating life. And I was like, well, like my whole life, every time I've met someone beautiful, I've always been more than willing to donate with that person, at least two of anything that I got that's good. And if that actually like turned into a family, that would be the greatest thing. And I never really wanted anything different than that. All these beautiful people I've been meeting my whole life. But I think a lot of life, it's not so much what you offer that's interesting to another person, or even life itself. It's what is inquired of you is what's interesting to another person. And so I wasn't actually being inquired of. I was of like the kind, like you can imagine, like you're in nature, and you see an animal that's like not afraid of looking at you and is interested in you. It's inquiring of you. It has a use for you that might not be what you intended to offer. But this one wasn't, this donation service wasn't looking for like what I've always been like wanting to at least like share with like someone beautiful. They're looking for anything but that. So it's like, okay, now I get it. So you walk in and you find a perfectly available restroom with no obstruction, but it might cost you a little bit. They want you to donate life, but not the kind of donate that makes things that look like you. They want all the other kind of donations. So I'm being tongue in cheek with that, of like putting two and two together. But I'm gonna do just a couple more videos in this series just about putting two together. That's all the more I'm doing with this series and this channel, is just putting two together, because that's our prerogative as people. And it doesn't make you crazy because you draw connections and inferences, and you fathom and you ideate upon the cues that you have, no less in your own reasoning, which is also a source of information. That doesn't make us anything different. That doesn't make us bad, and I think it makes us more better people.